Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the door hinge on your wall oven. And it's a really easy job. All you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver and a small finish nail that we bent into a little U shape. Let me show you how we do it. Now to do this repair, we will need to take the oven door off of the oven to change the hinge. And to do that, we'll open the door. Now before we remove the retaining straps on the hinges, we'll want to take a small finish nail or a very small screw, something that will fit into this tiny hole, one on each hinge. And I've taken a finish nail and just bent it into a U shape so that I can tuck that through that hole. And that will keep the hinge in about the broil position when I go to lift the door out of the oven cavity. You'll note that on each side there is a retaining strap for each hinge, held in place with a Phillips screw. So we'll remove the screw and the retainer and just set those aside. Now we can close the door to the broil position and then lift up on it and then remove it from the oven. We can now set that on a suitable work surface and we can change the hinge. Now that we have the door on a suitable work surface and we've protected the face of it so that we don't scratch the glass, we'll remove 3 Phillips screws from the top of the door and we'll spin the door around. We'll find 3 screws across the bottom. Now, once we've removed those screws, we should be able to lift the inner door panel, complete with the glass, away from the outer door panel. Now, once we've separated that, we'll set that aside and we'll remove the outer door glass. Now, while we have that door apart, you can take this opportunity to clean the inside of that outer door glass. And we'll just set that aside. And we'll lay the inner door panel face down. Now that we have the inner door panel exposed here, there's a single screw that holds the bottom of that hinge, and then the top just fits into 2 slotted openings. So we'll carefully remove that 1 Phillips screw. And then we can feed that hinge up through the opening and disengage 2 hooks at the top. And use caution when handling this. The edges of that metal are typically fairly sharp and you may want to put some protective gloves on while doing that job. And we can set that aside. Now the new hinge comes with a pin to hold it in that open position already. So we'll engage the 2 hooks at the top into the slotted openings. I'm going to drop that hinge down into position and then reinstall the Phillips screw, and it will fit on the inside hole. There are 2 holes there to put that screw in. We'll always pick the ones that's closest to the center. And if you're replacing one of these hinges, we strongly suggest that you replace both at the same time. Typically, if a spring has gone weak on one hinge, it'll be the same on the opposite one. You can also take this opportunity to clean that inner door glass while you have the door apart, and then we'll reassemble the door. Next, we'll reinstall the outer door panel and glass to the inner door panel. We'll set the bottom end over first, and drop the top into position. And we'll install the 3 screws across the bottom. I'll start that again. So next we'll put the outer door panel onto the inner door panel. And we'll start by hooking the bottom of it over first. We want to make sure that that lines up equally on both sides so that all 3 screw holes are lined up. We'll start by putting center screw in first. Tighten those securely. Now with the bottom 3 screws in place, we can now install the ones across the top of the door. And now we're ready to reinstall the door on the wall oven. Now to reinstall, we'll insert the hinges into the slotted openings. Now with the door in a fully open position, we can remove that little temporary pin and we can discard that. Keep it in a vertical position and let it drop down. Check to make sure that it's equal on both sides and it's fully inserted. And just carefully open the door. Do an inspection before you open it completely to make sure that they are fully seated and that their notch for those retaining bars are flush with the front of the oven liner. We can open the door completely and then we'll reinstall these 2 retaining straps. Simply slide the notched end into the notch on the hinge and then tighten the screw. Do the same on the opposite side. Check the operation of the door. Make sure it'll stay open in the broil position and completely open. And our repair is complete.
I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching and good luck with your repair.